Hi, Nancy here. Today we're going to talk about online application process. By the time you're done with this video, you're going to learn a lot about online job applications, what to do with them, what to fill them out with, and 3 big rules at the end about your job search and how to make it successful. I have several pages that I want to show you, and I will have copies of this book available at my office when we open back up. There are 4 different ways to apply for jobs online. You can go to the company website of the company that you want to work for, and generally down at the bottom there'll be a space called Careers where you can click and search for jobs in your area. Another way is to reply to Craigslist ads. Craigslist is the new newspaper, and the ads are affordable, and a lot of people apply there. You do have to be careful with your personal information and make sure that it's a legit company before you start just sending your information out to just anybody. So make sure it's a good place to find out who's hiring, though. Indeed.com is another good place to look for work, and they have applications at Indeed. It's called Easily Apply, where you can submit a resume and a short application and sometimes assessment skill tests right there on Indeed.com. If you do not have a computer that you can use to do an online application, some stores have computers in the store for you to apply. Target, Home Depot, Walmart, places like that will sometimes have a computer in the store that you can use to do an online application. Other places you can look for job listings, careerbuilder.com, monster.com, indeed.com, they kind of all have the same jobs. I found over the last few years that Indeed really was the most convenient and best place for it. But for county and state jobs, governmentjobs.com is a real website. For any school district jobs, you're going to go to a website called EdJoin, EDJOIN. The state of California runs a job website called CalJobs, which is a wealth of information about how to write resumes, how to do interviews, and then they also have job listings as well. And sometimes those don't show up on Indeed, so that's a good place to keep an eye out. Get signed up at CalJobs, and then you're also eligible to sign up and get help from America's Job Centers. And then, of course, Craigslist, like I mentioned before, you do have to have a savvy outlook on Craigslist to make sure that you're not submitting your personal information to someone who's not legit. So keep an eye out for that. There are still occasional newspaper ads, but it's not worth the $1 it costs for the newspaper. There's maybe 2 or 3, and you can get those online. You don't have to buy a newspaper to see the classified ads online. They're posted online for free. First, I want to talk about applying on a Craigslist ad. When you apply on a Craigslist ad, you're actually going to send an email to the company instead of an online application. So in some ways it's easier because there's not that complicated online application process. So pay attention to the site's specific specifications about whether or not the resume can be sent as a Word document or PDF or plain text. Follow the directions. If you don't follow the directions in the application process, then they're going to think you can't follow directions on the job either. Prepare your cover letter in advance. Your email can be attached, your resume can be attached to an email, but you should also include a cover letter in the body of the email talking about your skills and abilities and your desire to apply for this job. Make sure that you use some of the language from their job description in your email, so to show that you read the job description and that you have the skills that they're looking for. Make sure to proofread. Don't just rely on spell check, but go over it and have someone else look at it before you hit send on your email. Okay, here's some more about emailing resumes and cover letters. Include the title of the position that you're applying for as the subject line of the email. Be sure that your email is professional and has proper grammar. Use Grammarly if you know how to do that. Make sure that your email address is professional and it isn't like sillyclown@gmail.com, but something professional. Some employers don't accept attachments, and you have to actually cut and paste your resume into the email. So they usually specify that in the advertisement if that's what they want. If you're nervous about it, send the message to yourself first so that you know what it's going to look like when it arrives and it's not going to be too messy. Okay, now we're going to start talking about job application websites. Try to always go to the company's website if you want to apply wherever, whatever company that is that you want to work for. Go to their website. That's always a direct line to see if they're hiring or not and their application process. A few companies only use Indeed, but most of them have their own application process on their website. So if you're going to Target, it should be target.com, not target@ineedajob.com, right? Make sure you're going to the actual company website. Read their privacy policies regarding personal information. They are obviously collecting personal information from you because job applications have personal information. You'll need a digital resume in addition to print resumes during your job search. The digital resumes are to send to employers when you're doing an online application, and sometimes if your resume is done right, it will actually fill in a lot of the questions on the application for you, like your name and address and stuff like that. So to create a plain text resume, you want to save it in Microsoft Word as a TXT file, which will make it plain text. Don't make anything fancy on this text resume. There's no one reading it. It's all robots at this point, where a robot is reading that text resume looking for keywords about you that makes them think that you might be good for the job that you're applying for. So use a very plain font. Do not use tables, bullets, borders, graphics, and save it to yourself as a text-only file, .txt, to send to use for online applications. I'm getting this. You getting this? Alright, on this page we're going to talk about using the keywords from the advertisement in your job application. Anytime you can, you have a space to type the job duties from the job you are at, or sometimes they'll ask the question, is there anything else you want to know about us? You want to look over the job description in the advertisement and use as many of the same words as you can naturally, especially if they apply to you. If you have mopping experience and sweeping experience and they are looking for mopping and sweeping, then you definitely want to use those same words, or they might say floor care or whatever, but use the words they use so that when the robots are reading your application, they will find the words that they're looking for the right job candidate. Some more online application tips. Fill out forms completely. Do not leave anything blank. Again, like I said in the last slide, use any free or open space to say good things about your work experience. You are right for this job. and you want to tell them why. You want to make sure that they're getting all that information about you. Any section with a red star means, a little red star by it, means that you have to fill out that section, even if it's an NA situation, not applicable, right? Be prepared during the application process to do other assessments about your WOTC status. There's more on the slide about that. And then you may have to answer like 100 personality questions. That's typical for most of the big companies. They want to know a little bit more about your personality and make sure that you're going to be a good fit with them. Be prepared to answer questions about your gender and race and disability and veteran status. They will often ask you where you found the job ad, so if it was Indeed.com or the company website, they like to know that. Be honest in your application, but don't offer any negative information that they did not ask for. If you understand what I'm saying, keep it as positive as possible, always. Don't say anything that might make you look like you're not a good employee. References. References are friends or coworkers that know your work, that you have asked ahead of time if you could use them as a reference. Hey Bobby, can I use you as a reference on my job application? Sure, Steve, anytime. Great, can I get your name and email and address and phone number? Sure, get all that information. 3 is best. Even 4 is great. Longtime family friends are good. Coaches, social workers, people from church, people from sports that you might play, people from your school. You cannot use family for the references on your job applications. So make sure you get their permission first, and before you even start this process, make sure that you have your references ready. I'm saying a lot, right? The next and probably the most important part of an online job application process is going to the business afterwards once you've submitted the online application. You want to get dressed up, maybe not quite as spiffy as a job interview, but nice, right? Nice street clothes, like a clean, well put together outfit to walk into the restaurant or retailer or business to hand them a resume. So for that you need a paper resume. This is going to be different than your digital resume. This one's going to be prettier. I've put a whole lot of things on this list here about ways to make your resume pretty. Don't pay a lot of money for someone else to write your resume. There are lots of different people in town that will help you with that for free. So get with me if you don't know how to access that. Your paper resume. Cut that. Three rules for a successful job search. Number 1, do your homework about the company. Do they have a location near your house? Can you get there? Is it a kind of culture that you want to work in? Do you believe in the mission of the company? Working for a place where you don't agree with the mission, you probably won't stay very long. So you want to make sure that the company is the right fit for you before you even bother with an application. Rule number 2, keep a master application handy. Whether you're filling out paper applications or online applications, you should have all of your information on paper in front of you so that you're not constantly trying to remember the address of your previous employers and things like that. Keep that stuff handy while you're looking for work. Rule number 3, network, network, network. Always visit employers after you apply online. Get dressed up. Visit when business is slow. Do not interrupt a manager who is talking to a customer or is otherwise busy. Just be patient. They will come to you. You just stand there with your folder and you wait. with a smile on your face. And when they're ready to say, can I help you? That's when you go into your spiel. My name is Nancy. I'm looking for a job. Here's my resume. I already applied online. Otherwise, they'll stop you and say, well, you need to apply online. You could say, I already did. Smile and be confident in your abilities. You can do this work. You are a good employee. I hope this information has been helpful to you. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.